Need computer training for a group or office? Contact us today to get a free demo of our training at www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing.
Starting in Excel 2007, Excel saves its workbooks using a new default file format that provides a smaller file size and better security than the format used in prior versions of Excel. However, you should be aware of the file format issue if you will be sharing your workbooks collaboratively with others who may need to use and edit the workbook with an older version of Excel. Some features aren't supported by older versions of Excel. Also, if you save an Excel workbook using the new Excel file format, it will not be able to be opened in previous versions of Excel unless the users of the older versions download a compatibility pack from Microsoft that allows them to open and edit the newer file format. There are now several different basic file types available in Excel. In versions prior to 2007, you had two basic file types. You can recognize what type of file you are using by examining the file extension of the workbook, which we will examine momentarily. In versions of Excel prior to 2007, you had .xls files, which were the workbooks, and you had .xlt files, which were the workbook templates. Starting in Excel 2007, you still have the basic distinction between workbooks and templates, but you now also have another distinction: whether or not the workbook or template can contain macros or code. This is simply noted by an additional letter in the file extensions used by the workbooks and templates. Starting in Excel 2007, you have the .xlsx file type. This is the default Excel file format. It's a basic Excel workbook that does not contain macros or code. When you use the Save As dialog box to save your workbook, if you see the file type showing Excel Workbook, then you know that this is the file type that you will be using when you save the workbook. Now, in addition to this, you can also save a document using the .xlsm extension. This is an Excel workbook that could potentially contain macros or code. This also applies to workbook templates. A workbook template that does not have any macros or code uses the .xltx file extension, and a workbook template that does allow for the execution of macros or code uses the .xltm file format. Now, if you're creating a workbook that will need to be opened or edited on a machine that uses an older version of Excel, then you can simply use the old .xls file extension. This should be compatible with Excel 97 through Excel 2003. As always, you can choose what type of file to save your workbook as by simply using the Save As type drop-down within the Save As dialog box. Now let's look at what happens when you open a workbook that was created in a previous version of Excel. In this case, Excel opens the workbook in compatibility mode. You will see the words Compatibility Mode shown in the title bar of the workbook if this is the case. In compatibility mode, Excel disables any features that are not supported by the older versions of Excel. That way you can edit the workbook safely in Excel and save your changes in the original file format. This allows the creator or other editors that are using older versions of Excel to use the workbook after you have made your changes. Now, in contrast to this, you can open workbooks created in older versions of Excel and save them into the new Excel file format if you know that they will no longer need to be opened and edited in an older version of Excel. If you are interested, Microsoft has a backwards compatible file converter that you can download from their website that allows the older versions of Microsoft Office 2000 and 2003 to open the new Excel files.
Like what you see? Get a free demo of our training for groups of 5 or more at www www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing.